My question would be for Kevin. Um, is there a way to navigate through the military to where a military career actually can work in renewable energy, or is it better to use the military as a resource to work outside? About you to, but you being in acquisitions, I would think there's a possible way for you to actually work as an active member and for renewable energy.
Trey, sorry, I had a little bit of a hard time hearing you there, but I think the question was, and correct me if I'm wrong, was navigating the military space for career opportunities. Is it better to Was it better to go through the military side or through the private side? Was that the question or not?
Yeah, sort of. How do I get? If I want to work in renewable energy in the military, is that a feasible option, or does the military have you doing things that you don't want to do sometimes? Is it better to go that route, or is it kind of use the military as a pedal to go forward in the private direction for renewable energy in particular?
Sure. What I would convey is that there is no linear route, in my view, into this field. It's very complicated. The markets themselves, as Nikki mentioned, are changing within 1 or 2 years. From wind being really the leader in renewable energy for the past 3 or 4 years to really shifting quickly to solar, to distributed models like Mike was mentioning, distributed generation is growing amazingly fast. Um, so what I would recommend as far as navigating the respective spaces, one, I would recommend that you have to be reading extensively all the time about what's going on in this space to fully understand all the moving parts. And it's so diverse. There's so many different opportunities and roles. So I would pick a trajectory you think you want to be on. Try to find and network with people who have gone along that trajectory, and ask them how they've been able to navigate that space. And I would guess that part of their answer would be one, that they've been very fortunate to network with someone that helped guide them. Two, they were very diversified and very flexible with opportunities that they were willing to take. And three, a bit of luck involved. And luck, is really comes to that, just the preparation and being, willing to put the time in. That's, if nothing else, I would say is the tremendous, tremendous amount of time required to be reaching out, going to conferences, picking up the phone, trying to reach people, ask people for coffee constantly for your job you're looking for at a college, as you're in the career itself, reaching out and being known and people knowing you is very, very helpful to understand where the markets are going, because I can guarantee you by the time you graduate, things will change a lot. As far as the Department of Defense and the military goes, there are new programs that are recently announced from the Department of Defense to help train soldiers leaving the and sailors and Marines leaving the force to receive free training in solar installations and mostly on the solar side, and that's a growing area of focus for the DoD to ensure that there's job training specifically in the renewable energy field. I can tell you that the White House and the First Lady's office will be making a big announcement here in a month to celebrate the hiring of veterans into the renewable energy industry. And so I think there's lots of opportunities for veterans in that space, either going directly to the private side or coming from the military through the military channels.
I've got one quick question. This is, for each of the panelists, I think this is going to be a real short answer for you. But the point here is something you said earlier, Kevin, about networking. Here's my question. So if a college student sends you a LinkedIn email, and basically the person says, look, I'm trying to get into the industry. Your company looks really cool. What you do looks really cool. I know right now I don't have most likely, what it takes to get to your company. But is there any chance we could jump on the phone for 15 minutes when it's convenient for you, so you can just give me, some pointers or tips on what I should be doing over the next 2 years, so that maybe someday I really could be getting a job at your company. I'm curious what your reaction, just email comes in like that, and be truthful, be very truthful. What would your reaction be to that? I'm worried now having asked this question, but this is either going to be good news or bad news for these guys in the room. Nikki, you're smiling. Go.
I would absolutely respond. Usually any LinkedIn message I get that's more than just like, I would like to add you to my network, I will respond to in one way or another, yes or no. But absolutely, if I got a message like that from a student, I would definitely say, let's get on the phone. I'll tell you whatever you'd like to hear, and whatever I can tell you that can help. I would definitely do that, yes.
Rashawn?
Yeah, same here, but as Nikki said, it's definitely important that there's actually a message, because I get requests from strangers quite a bit. So if some person just random to me just sends a request, I might not get to it, or rather I'll see it and not do anything about it. But if there's a message that has content and you want to kind of pick my brain, I'll respond. It may not be immediately, but I'll definitely try to get to it.
Yeah, I would echo that, and I would say that's exactly how I fought my way out of the corner of being in Ithaca, New York. I did that extensively. I had a canned message saying, Kevin Johnson, our veteran, interested in renewable energy. And my ask was always, is it okay if I reach out to you in the future? I would never really ask directly for a specific amount of time. And what I would encourage people to do is, I would always reach out to the CEO of the respective company. The reason I would do that, CEO or the senior vice presidents, was that even if I didn't get a chance to talk to them, if I was able to see their profile and see what their career progression was, there's a tremendous opportunity just to learn by what their profile is of how they've progressed. You can clearly see, is this company a finance company? Or is everyone in the company all former CFOs or finance or investment bankers? You can quickly get a sense for what kind of company is it by the backgrounds of the people that are there. Then if you're so lucky to actually talk to the person, it's fantastic. But what I would always find that even if I didn't get a chance to talk to that CEO or senior vice president, that when I then wanted to reach out to someone else in the company, I was already connected to the CEO of the company, so usually so by the time you actually want to potentially reach out for an informational interview or an interview, potentially, you have a good base of people that you have already potentially engaged with. I did that extensively, and it helped a bit. But I would absolutely encourage people to reach out with some content and with a very specific ask. And I think generally people will follow up with you.
Man, it's a sigh of relief on my end. I wasn't sure how this question was going to go, but for those of you, for Team Howard, the big point here is the most important question is not necessarily, in fact, not usually, can you get me a job? The most important question are these other questions, the questions that will give you information to get a job, and that will leave you, if it goes well, with a contact afterwards. And then if you're really sneaky strategic like Kevin is, you'll have a contact that's like really high on the mountain, so that the next time you go fishing in that sea, these people won't blow you off, because they're going to see, wow, I really want to ignore him, but he did seem to connect with the CEO. I love it. That's a great one.
My strategy was that if I had a 1% hit rate, that was still pretty fantastic. And it's worked out.
Lotto. Okay, we got room for at least one more question, maybe two. Who's got another question?